The story of Queen Vashti is one of the stories that whenever I read, I'm like, wow. And I'm always like, if I get the opportunity to meet any Bible character and then talk or have a conversation with, I would love to meet Queen Vashti. And then I'll ask her to tell me where she purchased her audacity and boldness from to be able to tell the king that I am not going to allow myself to be used as an entertainment for you and your friends. I see that she was a strong feminist. Yes, she knew her worth and knew that she's not for entertainment, especially for drunk men. But you see the way the church preaches about Vashti and Esther and portray Vashti as a woman that no young woman should look up to and emulate. But I tell you, Vashti is one of the strongest and positive women that young women or women of our generation should look up to and learn from. Now, when you read the story, you realize that it wasn't even the king who wanted to punish Vashti and take her from the throne. It was the men around him. And you know their excuse, the reason they gave for the king to make sure that Vashti is no longer the queen. Their reason was that Vashti, what she did by saying no to the king's demand, is going to make other women disrespect them in their matrimonial home. They will not value the men again. So the king should demote Vashti and give a role to someone else, so that the women in the kingdom will not use that as an advantage or opportunity to say no to their husbands when they also make what demands. So you see, men and their selfishness. Can you tell me, you a king, you are having a feast for the men and the princes in your kingdom, and this queen is also having the same feast for the women, and then you and your princesses and the men and your leaders, you have eaten, drank, and then you call me to come and show my beauty, to entertain you and your drunk men, not to come and discuss something important, but to come and what? Show my beauty to them and then entertain them. Drunk men. So imagine being before drunk men as a beautiful woman to entertain them. Men who are not conscious. What do you think they will do to you? They will touch you anyhow. They will push you anyhow. They will say words anyhow to you because they are not conscious of themselves. They will not respect you. This hair is blend. This is 80% human hair and 20% fiber. I got it from Queen Sleek Hair. I'm going to tag her in this post. And so Vashti, knowing her way, said, no, I am not going to subject myself to this ridicule and allow myself to be disrespected by men, drunk men. It is not that what Vashti did was wrong before God. No. But God used that as an advantage to place Esther there so that through Esther, his people will be delivered. And so if the king is deciding to demote Vashti, God said, okay, then let me use that as an advantage to place my daughter there. So it's not that Vashti's actions, God sees it as a sin. No, bear in mind, the people were not considered as God's people, okay? And so they have their own rules that has not concerned God. And they do things the way they want. But Israel was in slavery at that time. And so God used that as an opportunity to what? To save his people. So the law was not because they said, no, how can you talk to a king like that? Like they want to hold the king in high esteem. No, it is for their own selfish interest, the men. So that they can also go home and say that, yes, you see, when Queen Vashti did this is what the king did to her. So if you also don't listen to me, even though what I'm asking from you or of you is disrespectful, I'm going to do to you exactly what the king did to Vashti. Learn to know your worth, so that when a man, whether your husband, your brother, or your father, or whoever is making some demands which you deem it disrespect and insult, you can stand on your feet like Vashti and say no. Vashti didn't care if she has to lose her position. In fact, even if she has to be divorced, she didn't care. She was ready to stand and demand respect and not accept disrespect. And bear in mind that if you are a woman who knows your worth and do not accept any form of disrespect from a man, Men will see you as a disrespectful woman and conclude that you are prideful, and there are common words to be you are not a wife material. Whenever you hear a comment like that from men, know that you are doing something right, but that something right doesn't sit well with them. It bruises their fragile ego. That's why they say you are not a wife material, you are not humble, you are too knowing, you are this, you are this, you are a woman. Calm down. Don't calm down for them. Even if they will call you names and then say you are disrespectful, stand up for yourself, know your worth, and make sure you will not accept any form of disrespect from any of them. And so for me, Vashti is one of the women I would love to meet and then ask her where she bought that audacity and boldness from, because I want to go there and buy some, Charlie. Because looking at their time, the way women were treated and handled, for her to be able to say no to the king shows how strong-willed she was, that she'll be able to do that. She has learned over the years to know her worth, to not allow herself for entertainment. Men will always try to use you to either entertain themselves or achieve something. They will always find ways to use you. Look at this hair, very beautiful. And the only way as a woman you can prevent that is knowing your worth and learning to have a voice, learning to say no and meaning your no. So as a young woman watching me, learn from Vashti, okay? Learn from Vashti. Now, if you want to learn from Esther, know that Esther was cunning. So you can learn that aspect. She cunningly enters the king's heart and then made a demand. Now, both women were very intentional in their ways. They knew what they wanted and they went for it. Vashti wanted respect. Vashti didn't want to be ridiculed or used for entertainment. She went for it. Esther wanted freedom for her people and also wanted to make sure that the enemy after her uncle's life will be what? Will be buried, will be killed, will be destroyed. And she used wisdom to go for it. And so both women have something that you and I can learn from. Then use it at the right time. Okay, so learn from both women. And you will not regret as a woman. And so pastors out there, when you are preaching the Bible of Vashti and Esther, stop making it look like Vashti is devil and Vashti is a no-go area. And so you painted a woman who is rebellious. I mean, even if she's rebellious, I think it's good. You need to be rebellious at times to ensure that men will not take advantage of you and use you. Okay, fam, so this is me ready for church. Once again, know your worth as a woman, have a voice, and learn to stand up for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.